In this video,
howdy neighbor.
goes under the bed. Hordes of mice. Not right here. Are we there?
No, I don't see the sign yet.
I think we just have to assume we're here now.
Okay, you ready?
Yep. Woohoo! Washington State. Heading for Olympia in a hurry, we passed up this lovely campsite to make some miles. Further on, Home Valley was almost full. We got the last spot, and it was the tiltiest place we've ever slept. But beautiful too. The next day we arrived in Olympia, and it was great to be with family again. We settled into a few weeks of Moochdocking, relaxing and helping out. Every morning, I'd walk over to visit my mom and help out around the house.
Oh, hello there. Howdy neighbor.
We had some wonderful neighbors here. Cute ones, too. We visited the Moochdocking Museum in a beautiful building designed to echo the shape of the Thunderbird. We spent some time in the Veterans Memorial Garden here. And lots of time sitting on the deck, staring at the water. Then it was time to hit the road again. We headed north, stopping in Bellingham to visit a friend of ours and her wonderful dogs. Then headed north again. We crossed the Canadian border and parked up at Dan's sister's house.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. So we are in Kamloops, BC, in Canada. We are Moochdocking at Dan's sister's house and planning our trip.
We're heading up north in a few days.
We're hoping to go to northern BC and Haida Gwaii, which we'll talk more about, I think, in a minute, and also to Alaska. And we'll be there until the first week or two in September. So this summer we have a few plans, things we definitely want to make sure that we do while we're in this part of the world. One of them is Haida Gwaii.
Yep, we're going to be going up there. Used to be called the Queen Charlotte Islands, and now it's called Haida Gwaii. And so we're going to take ferries, leaves Prince Rupert at 10:30 at night and gets there at 6 in the morning.
Should be an adventure.
And then we looked at some campsites there, first come, first serve. So I think we have a pretty good shot at getting there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
And the reason we're going there is because when we were traveling in this area a few years back, everyone we met kept telling us that we really should go to Haida Gwaii. It's like the most magical place they'd ever been. It's a very large island in the Pacific, and it's got its own very rainforesty temperature, and it's the homeland of the Haida people. And there's a lot of beautiful beaches and a lot of wildlife and a lot of history there. So we're looking forward to checking that out. The ferry is 8 hours from the mainland, and we have to drive to Prince Rupert, which is pretty far north in BC, and then take the ferry another 8 hours. So it's going to be an adventure. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Now, some of the things getting ready for this adventure, had a few small repairs. Tighten up our windows. The windows are big windows in the back there. You can see it. You can see it. They sit up on a rubber seal, and the bolts were a little bit loose, so I tightened those up. We got a new screen tent, which we talked about before, and we did our front window screens with some help from my sister.
Which is awesome because we know that it's going to be buggy in Alaska, and we wanted to make sure, and in British Columbia, it's very wet and buggy this time of year, and we're hoping the screen tent and the screen windows will help us keep the bugs out. And that way we can enjoy the outside a little more and some airflow. We need the window open in order to get some airflow with our fan. There's a few other things we did to prepare. We also, we anticipate that it's going to be expensive to buy food and gas in northern BC. Actually, all of Canada right now, and also in Alaska, probably even more so. So we stocked up with a lot of dry goods so that we have food to eat even if we can't find very much fresh food.
Hey, how are you? Good, thanks.
Hi.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. If we can't find much fresh food, we'll still be... Okay. All right, another thing that we did to prepare was stock up on extra groceries. We anticipate it's going to be more expensive to buy food in Alaska and northern Canada, and we don't want to end up feeling like we have to eat out, which will even be more expensive. So we bought a lot of dry goods that we thought might be a little hard to find. I'm trying to think of some things. We bought a bunch at Trader Joe's food, for example, since we were in Olympia. That's not an ad for Trader Joe's, it's just the truth. And we bought some polenta and some different kinds of pasta sauce. We bought a lot of what we call non-milk milk, which is almond milk, because we use that in our cereal, and we didn't want there's a lot of interruptions right now, and we didn't want to end up feeling like we had to have milk because one of us is not real tolerant of dairy. So we did a lot of that kind of shopping, and we hope that it'll make our trip a little less expensive. Another thing we did, or I did, I should say, is I joined some BC rock hounding groups. I don't know much about rock hounding in BC. I know there's jade here and agate, as there is almost everywhere. And there's a lot of land. It's really beautiful, and I just wanted to have an idea where to look.
So thinking about this trip, we tried to reflect on what we are concerned about. And while Perry's got a whole list of concerns, I don't have a care in the world.
That's pretty well how it goes. That's what makes us such a good team. So my concern, as I talked about before, is just the cost. We are on a pretty tight budget in general, and we live pretty cheaply, try to live within our means and not end up having to take money out on our credit cards. And we're thinking we might be a little maxed out because of the cost of everything and the distances and the ferries. So that's one thing. And there's one more thing. And this is based on experience, because last time we came to BC and we went into this beautiful wild area along the Cassiar Highway, which we're going to be in that area again. And we camped next to a lake in this beautiful field. And in the middle of the night, we heard all these little scampering sounds on top of the van. And there were like hordes of mice in this particular spot. And we did get a mouse in our van.
Just one.
It's the first time we've ever had that happen. The only time.
Little cute little mouse.
It was not fun. I much prefer the snake to the mouse, and just, it's a very small space if you know there's somebody else wandering around in there.
We had a roommate for
A couple of days. Anyway, we don't want that again. So I bought some Cab Save mouse deterrent. We've been calling it mouse detergent.
Because we're funny like that.
We'll keep our van squeaky clean. But what we hope is that the mouse detergent works to deter the mice, and that we won't end up having mice when we're in these really beautiful, wild, mousy places that we might see.
See how that goes.
We will let you know, believe me.
While in Kamloops, we spent some time exploring and a lot of time visiting. Tomorrow, we set off on the next leg of our northern adventure.